Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Manufactured Home Show. I'm Ken Corbin, and this is the program where you'll hear me interview the top retailers, communities, manufacturers, lenders, suppliers, all involved with the manufactured home industry. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for other guests, I just recommend that you drop me an email. It's ken@callkencorbin with that information. And for a full list of all the programs in this series, just simply go to learnmh.com. You can also visit my website, callkencorbin.com, and click on the little tab that says Manufactured Home Show. You can also go to YouTube, where we will be downloading the entire series on the new Manufactured Home Show channel. And of course, my business Facebook page, callkencorbin.com, or just Ken Corbin Speaker. Well, today we're in for a real treat because you're going to meet one of the top retailers and community owners in the United States, Amie Hacker of Park Place Homes in London, Kentucky. Park Place is a single center retail location selling Clayton, Champion, and Fleetwood products. In addition to Park Place, Amie has 5 manufactured home communities plus an insurance agency. She is the current chair of the Kentucky Manufactured Housing Institute, plus vice chair and treasurer of their PAC. Amie serves on the Clayton Homes Advisory Board, is a current chair of the Manufactured Housing Institute's retailer division, and sits on the MHI's board of directors. In addition, she's a member of the MHEI board. In the past, Amie has been an integral part of the educational programs and panels at the Louisville Home Show, and next year, Amie will be one of the featured guests on the Best of the Best panel at the show, which will be held in Louisville, January 20th through the 22nd, and we look forward to seeing her there. And if you have a chance, you have to stop by and see Amie and the Best of the Best panel. And with that, welcome, Amie. We're so glad to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me, Ken.
Well, I'd like to start out because you're involved with so many boards and so many associations. Give us an idea. Why do you think it's so important to be involved with the associations across not only your state, but across the country, and maybe even the local boards as well?
I think being involved in your state and national associations allows you to engage with your peers and your industry members. You become aware of all the issues affecting your industry that affect your day-to-day operations. And the associations, they not only advocate for you and allow you to become one voice for your governing bodies to continue to move our industry forward. It's extremely important to know the issues that affect our industry is facing so you can be proactive instead of, reactive.
Yeah.
The networking itself is also extremely vital in your day-to-day operations, as it provides a wealth of knowledge as others are facing the same issues that you are. So just having that, the networking itself, just that alone is worth its weight in gold.
I couldn't agree with you more. And we see this as when we have these panels, like I just mentioned in Louisville and all the various educational seminars there and across the country at the various manufactured housing events. But you've been in this industry for a long time. And tell us, how have you seen it evolve, let's say, over the past 20 years? What changes have you seen happen?
I've seen our product advance so much in the last 20 years. I've seen it go from shag carpet and mauve toilets to modern finishes, stunning woodwork. Our homes resemble site-built homes now more than ever. Absolutely love when a customer or a zoning official walks in our product and says, wow, I had no idea your product looks like this. I would say the thing I'm most proud of, though, is when I look out into a crowd and I see how many women there are involved in leadership roles now. Our industry as a whole is moving forward in all the right directions of raising the bar in innovation and I can remember when I first started, I'd be in a crowd and there was 2 women in a room of 100 men. So to me, that's probably the most satisfying thing.
Well, and it's ironic as I travel around the country, not only from a leadership role and an ownership role, like in your case, or management, there's no question the top sales representatives in this industry, there's no question are women because they can relate so much better to the prominent buyer of a couple or someone who's married, which is the woman.
Yes, we understand more when, the kitchen or the bathrooms, what women are looking for, and we can relate, that they understand that they need more kitchen space or they need a pantry. So we understand that what they're looking for is, more drawers to put their utensils in.
And let's talk about going back to our industry for a second and our competitors in the industry. I find that it's, and I know you're feeling that it's very important for us as an industry to stay in communication with our peers, and maybe even that's our competitors as well, because we're going to gain so much more by doing some best practices and other items. So what's your thoughts on that?
We have a saying at our association that you leave your ego and your competitiveness at the door when you walk in. It's like we have a magic coat rack and you pick it up at the way out. Your competition and your rivals in your local market are really valuable when it comes to local zoning and issues that affect your day-to-day operations. You need to be able to come together as a team to accomplish goals and tasks to move your industry forward for the greater good. If something is affecting your business, then more than likely it's affecting them. And being on good terms with your competitor or your biggest rival allows you to call them up and help each other. So sometimes it's good to be able to take off the boxing gloves and help each other because we're ultimately all in it together for the greater good. So it's
Well,
nice to be able to call them up.
sure. Well, and being a retailer and a large retailer like you are, as well as owning the community's pleasure insurance company, but going back to as an owner of a very successful retail operation, what would you say would be some of the most important aspects someone should take into consideration in owning a company like yours?
I think a lot of time portion of a dealership. And I found it extremely important over the years to know every aspect of the business. And by this, I mean you should know about the delivery, the set, the footers, the trim, the skirting, and everything additional items you sell. So I know about how every concept works. So you should get in that truck with that contractor and go with him at some point and physically do that work. So you can explain that to a customer, and you're also, what that contractor goes through. So you ever hear the saying that you never ask somebody to do a job that you wouldn't do yourself? So I've always said, I'll never ask you to do a job that I wouldn't do myself. And I also like the idea of training your salespeople to go on a delivery and set job so that they know what the contractor goes through and they understand how a house is delivered and set up too. So they can explain that to a customer. So if a customer has a question, then they understand how that house is delivered and set up. So I like my salespeople to be extremely well-rounded and understand the product more than just how to sell the product.
Well, and I think it's also important as an owner like yourself, knowing the things that a contractor is supposed to be doing. That's another great way to keep them honest, especially
Right.
when dealing with a new contractor as well. But you talked about sales, and let me just ask this question. What's a piece of its sales advice that perhaps that you've learned over the years that you feel is important that you could share with our listeners and viewers?
This is a crazy one, but a mentor taught me years ago to not only make an appointment with a customer, but to take it one step farther and ask what type of vehicle that they're driving and say, I'll be waiting for you to arrive on the lot. But the key for this to work is to ensure that you're available when they arrive so the customer feels they're your only customer and a top priority. And the reason we ask for what type of vehicle that they are driving is so that they think we're actually looking for them to arrive and they have an obligation to make their appointment. But make sure you give yourself an out if you're to be on the phone or with another customer by saying, I have a prior appointment, so upon arriving, if I don't meet you at your car, please go ahead and start looking around. Our homes are open. and I'll come meet you. This allows you to make sure the customer knows you're expecting them. And if you get delayed, you don't leave the customer feeling forgotten. But if that customer, thinks you're looking for their vehicle, they are obligated to come, they're going to show up every time because they're going to tell their husband, he asks what type of vehicle I'm driving, what time I'm coming, he's expecting me. So they're going to be there at 1 o'clock and they're going to be driving a white Ford Taurus every time. And you should be at that door watching at 1 o'clock for a white Ford Taurus to pull in that drove. And you should be waving and you should say, Mr. Jones, I'm so glad to see you. And I've got that double wide here ready to show you.
That is a wonderful piece of advice, something I've never heard before. And let me piggyback on that, because when I'm doing my training, one of the things that I teach everybody is we are actual professionals. And think of when you make an appointment with a doctor or a dentist, they're always going to call you a day in advance just to remind you about your appointment. Or more commonly today, we're receiving a text message, just a reminder that we have an appointment. It's just another way of letting them know that we're working with them on a professional level. But at the end of the day, to kind of wrap things up, what's one piece of advice you may share with everyone that you've learned over the past 20 years?
My grandma always said, when a pig becomes a hog, it goes to slaughter. So just never get greedy in this business. Always leave something on the table for your customer. Just remember, when a pig becomes a hog, it goes to slaughter.
I couldn't agree with you more. Amie, for those people who would like to reach out to you, might have some questions or further questions or comments, how can we get a hold of you?
My email is Amie, which is AMIE, at parkplacehomesLondon.com, or you can reach me at my dealership, which is Park Place Homes in London, Kentucky. I'm here 6 days a week, first one to arrive, last one to leave every day.
You're a Philo, first in, last out.
I think every owner should be that.
Absolutely fantastic. Amie, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. And again, anybody out there who has any questions, you can also write to me, ken@kencorbin.com. And of course, you can see all the episodes at learnmh.com. We'll be downloading these under the new YouTube channel called The Manufactured Home Show. And of course, you can see them on my business Facebook page, Ken Corbin Speaker. Amie, thanks so much again. Have a wonderful evening. And we look forward to the next Manufactured Home Show.
Thanks for having me, Ken.